All right, guys. Let's do something real quick here. So, I've gotten a few requests from my previous videos where some of you here asked me to kind of create a tutorial video on valid and invalid points of interest. You understand? Points of interest that are valid. And I think I've already said something on that in one of those videos, but for the sake of the request, so I decided to say let me create a special video, due to the fact that that particular video was just kind of looking like a referencing to the a reference, like trying to reference it to, okay, telling you this is the type of setup you should look for, and but I didn't give a more elaborate explanation on it. So basically this is the setup I trade. So this is what I trade. I don't know, you must have been following me, and you must have seen these setups on my Twitter or Telegram quite a number of times, where I tell you I wait for market to give me this kind of structure. You see, get something like this, a sweep of liquidity first. That's what I wait for first. Then a break of structure. I said what? First break of structure, then a little pullback, which is your inducement, or you can call it structural liquidity, then your second break of structure. So the moment you have something of this kind, the moment you get something like this on the chart, you are actually good to go. As long as, I'll always keep saying it, as long as it is aligning with your bias, your directional bias. You need to have a direction. You need to have a direction. If you check on my previous video, I talked about that, framing a bias, carrying out, that's the video where I talked about top-down analysis, basic top-down analysis. You need to know the direction to where price is headed. Then you can actually begin to look for this pattern I drew here. You can begin to look for this pattern and trade them off. You understand? When you get this one now, when you get something like this, the first thing you need to look for, let me clear this off. The first thing you need to look for, you need to wait for price to give you an order block, and price should kind of violate that order block. It should invalidate the order block, which is called our sweep of liquidity. You can see it right about there. Then when that move that invalidated your order block should come down and break structure, the structure that leads to that order block that got invalidated, that's your first break of structure. Then you need to wait for price to give you a little pullback in form of what? Structural liquidity, right about here. You can see it, structural liquidity. Then after that, you wait for your second break of structure. Remember, second break of structure, we need two break of structure here. Two break of structures, sorry. So this is your second break of structure. So the moment you get a pattern like this, A, B, C, and D should be the last break of structure, which is the third break of structure. A is your sweep of liquidity. B is your first break of structure. C is your structural liquidity, which is inducement. Then D is your what? Third and second break of structure. So the moment you get this, you can actually choose to pick the other block that got invalidated from behind and draw your point of interest here. Then this above, this high here, this high that invalidated that other block is considered your protected high. When we say protected high, it is this protected high now is not meant to be invalidated. You understand? It's not there to be invalidated. When market takes out your protected high, then to some, you might not actually conclude that okay, that high or that your point of interest is invalid until you get a total invalidation. But sometimes price just decides to weak it out, then start to move in your direction. Sometimes you see that price will make this kind of movement to that your protected high. So it will from here like this. So you're expecting price to come to this place, react to your POI and dump to the downside. This is in the bearish case scenario, you understand? But sometimes you find it in this, there will be a situation whereby you see you see price do something like this. It will go clear your protected high just slightly, then fall to the downside. This is considered manipulation. This is just don't know, the market's way of manipulating traders, retail trader like us, to um, to bag more liquidity before making the main move, or before the main move kicks in. So this is basically what I trade. And things that invalidate this particular setup, things that invalidate it is when you have something like this. When your sweep of liquidity, the other block that got swept out, is at the same level. You see, when you have something like this sweep of liquidity, then your first break of structure, then this structural liquidity is in at the same level with that particular other block that got swept. You see, your structural liquidity became like this, you understand? Then price went to break structure. This is considered an invalid setup, a null setup. This is considered an invalid setup, you understand? If you have something like this, you can see, if I am to mark out my other block, or should I say it's a breaker block, actually, right about there, it's a breaker block. If I am to mark it out, you see that price has already mitigated that zone that we are looking to take our trade from, you understand? Even the other block, even if you are to say okay, let's use the other block, I am not so interested in picking any trade at around that level, because this is entirely an invalid setup, you understand? This is entirely an invalid setup. So your structural liquidity has to be below or above your sweep of liquidity. You can see it has to be below or above it, something like this, you understand? So you can easily pick that other block. This particular area, you can use it as your entry as well, or for use the more reason why we use the block, this particular block here that got mitigated, is because it's just trying to avoid missed entry or stuff like that. If you have to take your entry to the upside, you might market might come and not get to the upside, though price always tends to sell from a demand or supply level. So, and our demand or supply level is always at around this our other block, this other block. That's where the last bullish or bearish candle formed before price fell to the downside, you understand? So if you have your structural liquidity this way, this is considered an invalid setup. So if you see anything like this, don't trade it. And remember, we have type 1 and type 2 of this particular setup. So when you see type 1, you know which one is type 1. When you see type 2, you know which is type 2. So let me quickly go into the chart and see if I can. So we are on the 24 hours time frame right about now. We're on the 24 hours time frame, sorry. So we need to get a direction. This is volatility 25, right? Volatility 25. Let's delete all of this object. So this is volatility 25, and let's say price is reacting from a POI at around this level. There is an FVG here price is reacting from. So that is we're expecting price to react from here and sell all the way up here. You understand? Sell all the way up here, or you target any of the liquidity that is along the line. You understand? But that's the highest target. So now we can't trade the 24 hours time frame. We definitely need to move to it, like your entry time frame. You can choose your entry time frame to be 5 minutes time frame or 10 minutes time frame. So let's use the 5 minutes time frame, which I like using most of the time. You understand? To get precise trade entries. So I know we might not be able to like find enough setups here, but let's see if we can see that our pattern here formed. If the pattern didn't form, you move to the next. So I think we have a pattern here. Can I remove this? Can I move this? Let's go to the H1. So let me push this away a little. We already know price is reacting from that point, so let's go back to the 5 minutes. So we actually have a setup here. You can see this is our sweep of liquidity. These are sweep of liquidity right about here. I just want to make this video as short as possible, so I might just give you a few examples and end the video. So we have a sweep of liquidity right about here. We have our first break of structure, but in this case this is type 2 setup. This is type 2, so this is where our structural liquidity is. So type 2 actually presents structural liquidity before giving you break of structure. So it has double break of structure. This is the second break of structure. The second break of structure is internal. So you might be asking, I know it's a question that most of you want to ask. So this is type 2, then you pick this from behind and like this, then you are looking to enter off your trade at this point. So this is basically how you backtest. So immediately after watching this video, you try to backtest this, test it and see how it works. So you target the external range liquidity or the highest high created before price comes into your position. You understand? So we have one there, then I think we have another setup here. The moment this particular one hit TP, we had another setup here. You can see this liquidity that was swept here, this particular place here, that liquidity that was swept. Then we have price presenting us with another type 2 setup. You can see structural liquidity right about here. Then we have the first break of structure, which is internal. First break of structure. Then we have the second break of structure, which was the TP for the previous setup, right? First break, second break of structure. Then where are you looking to pick your trade from? You're looking to pick your trade from this level here. You pick the other block that got invalidated and draw it out this way, then extend to see. Okay, you can see price actually came to tag you in. So you can see what I was saying the other time. Price, okay, though price didn't take you out because this is the protected low. This is the protected low. This is where the protected low is. So your SL is supposed to be below this protected low. So you can see price came, tag you in beautifully. You pick your position to place it. Then your SL is below here. Then where are you targeting? You are targeting the highest high created before price approach your POI. And this is a solid 1 to 6 RR trade. So what next? You begin to look for another setup. You begin to look for that same pattern. That's what you need to be searching for. You don't need to do much. The moment you have a direction, the rest is just bread and beans. So what do we have here? We have a sweep of liquidity right about here. We have a sweep of liquidity. Is it a clear sweep? Not really. Price didn't sweep it the way we want. So that's invalid. So I haven't seen any invalid setup here. Actually, I haven't seen any. It's kind of rare to find an invalid setup. Just as I told you, it's kind of rare, but the moment you see them, I've already told you how they look like, so you try to avoid them and look for the best type of sweep of liquidity. The best type of sweep of liquidity, your structural liquidity shouldn't be at the same level with the sweep of liquidity. The point at which price swept your liquidity, your structural liquidity shouldn't be at the same level. Structural liquidity is meant to be above or below your sweep of liquidity. The moment it happens to be at the same level, then that POI is not holding. Price is not even coming closer to it. I don't even know where to. Let's see if I can see any random one. Just random. I don't want to follow the direction of the market. Just a random sweep of liquidity and see. Look at it. Something like this. No, I don't want to consider this. I just want to make sure I show you an example before I end this video. The video is already getting too long. And also, one of the things that invalidates your setup is if there is no structural liquidity. If there is no liquidity close to that point where price swept liquidity, then just run away from the setup. Leave the setup. No near am. Just run away. Run away. Oh, I haven't seen any. Like I say, they are rare because you don't want to even see them. You understand? Program it in your head that okay, as long as I don't have sweep of liquidity, okay. Program it inside your head. Something like this. You can see this one is even too tight for you to consider as a sweep of liquidity. You can see if you are to take this, like it's not even looking so good here. So let's just ignore and move on. I want this video to just be 7 minutes, and it's 7 minutes already. So I don't know. I'll just have to end the video. But from my chart that I'll be dropping on my Twitter, my social media handles, just check. You see how I look for these things. You see how I mark them out. So you can see I have one here. Look at this is a sweep of liquidity, right? And the structural liquidity, you can see they are at the same level. Though price actually came, you might be lucky. Price will come to your POI. Price will come and pick the other block. You can see price actually came to took the liquidity out. But in most cases, just backtest these things and see what I'm telling you. So I think that will be all for this video. Thanks for watching, and drop a like and a comment if you found value in what I just shared right about now.